Hey everybody, it's Tyler Walton here with Tyler Walton Music, and today we're taking a look at the London Contemporary Orchestra Textures Library from the wonderful folks over at Spitfire Audio. This library comes billed as a, quote, completely unique, never-before-sampled sound palette and a sophisticated collection of constantly evolving organic textures formed by layering unexpected combinations of instruments, end quote. Some of the really cool facts about the creation of this library is that it was recorded live in a gigantic aircraft hangar with something insane like 10 seconds of reverb, which is able to be edited within the Kontakt interface. Another cool addition to this library, amongst many others to be discussed later, are the mic options. We have close, main array, room, and mix mics alongside a really cool plate reverb style mic and a stretched mic, which we'll touch on as well. Without further ado, let's get into this review and unboxing. However, before we begin, a quick disclaimer, I purchased this library at a steep discount thanks to Spitfire Audio's annual spring sale. I paid something close to $179.40 USD for it, and this normally retails itself at $299 USD. Because of this, I'm going to be offering my opinions at both price points for everyone across the board. So let's get started. So right off the bat, when you open up the interface itself, what we have here is the textures grid and the advanced folder. We're going to touch on the texture grid here in a second. I want to go into this advanced folder first. When you open it up, you have curated presets and individual textures. Upon entering the curated presets folder, we have a bunch of targeted samples that you can get into right out of the box. You buy it, you download it, and all of a sudden you have all of these textures here ready to go for composition with no tweaking, no tuning. You just go. And I really like that. The piano whisper texture that we're going to talk about here in a second is right here. Going even further though, if you want to be a little bit more targeted on instrument families and sort of color palette style sounds, if you understand that, are these individual textures. You have the ethereal, mercurial, quantum, and astral folders that all have their own unique color and feel to them. And that allows you to further isolate that kind of sound that you want without going into the Evo grid. And I think this is just a fantastic way to get brand new composers. If this is their first library, you can get right into it, and there's no guesswork. We're going to look at all this here right now. So first things first, with the piano whisper folder here, we've got it opened up, this channel here. This is our interface for the piano whisper. We have our grid, which we're not going to touch. And then we've got the mics here, close, main array, room, and mix. We have some controllers here, dynamics, variation, expression, envelope, effects controls. This is it right here. This is like your command center if you want to play this texture. But really quick, let's just take a quick listen to it. Really pretty, and it just kind of shimmers, and all this can be changed. You can add more reverb to it. We can bump the delay up. Let's bump that tip saturation, back that up a little bit more again. Let's see what that sounds like. A little bit abrasive, a little bit abrasive. There's that. Now this variation is a really cool controller that they added to this library, in that you can change the total sound of this texture on a slider that you can set to a CC automated fader. I don't have one plugged in right now, otherwise I would show you. So I'm going to pull it all the way back, and this is what it sounds like when it's at 0. It's really top heavy. And then you can find any combination in between. Let's put it at 50%. A little bit more depth to it. Fantastic, just a great sounding instrument. Moving on to the mercurial folder, we have this thing here called Chrome Motion. I absolutely love this sound. So here, this is a little bit different. This is an articulation type folder, so we're not going to have the Evo grid, but what we do get in exchange are the plate reverb and the stretched mics, which we're going to talk about right now, as well as extra reverb if you want to put it here. Our filters, or I'm sorry, our envelope filters are still right here. So this is what it sounds like. Let's turn this off. Let's start right off the bat with the close mic. I'm going to go right down the line. with these type of evolution style textures, you just want to hold on to them and let them breathe. It's really intimate sounding. Turn that off. Let's put the main array mic on. A little bit more fullness, a little bit more reverb. A room mic. Even more so. And then the mix is going to mix it all together. So what's really cool is now we have this plate reverb mic here. If you play it by itself, it takes a little bit off the top, but spaces it out a bit. This is one that you're going to want to mix with one of these other mics. Let's mix it with our close mic. Or better yet, let's mix it with our mix so we get like the full bandwidth. It's really pretty. And then our stretch mic. I'm going to play this one by itself. Unbelievable. And you can mix all of these up any way you want. You can have all of these on if you want to put them all on and kind of put them at different levels. I'm just picking random quantities here, and you can do that, and that's what I love about this. Same with the reverb and all the filters and envelopes and everything like that. That's Chrome Ocean from the Mercurial folder. Now this one was my favorite texture that came out of those like pre-made packs. This is from the Astral folder. This is called Microtonal Interference, and I love this one because of the potential it has to really create just some fantastic sounding pads. I'm going to play it right now at close mic, and we're going to see how it sounds. It's super intimate. You could put that up underneath the piano, just like with the piano whisper, and just kind of pad it out just a little bit more and give yourself a little bit more of a unique sound that you wouldn't otherwise have. This is the main array mic. A little bit more fullness, a little bit more reverb. Room, mix, I mean it's all the same here. Let's put some of these on. Let's do mix and plate reverb. Oh yeah. Drop the attack a little bit. You can make some really cool sounds here. You can really get creative with it. That's Microtonal Interference. Next one is Quantum, or Onyx Wave from the Quantum folder. There's some really cool winds in there. I like this one a lot too. In fact, all of these I used in the cue that we're going to listen to at the end of this video. That way you can kind of hear them in context. Moving on down, Tremor Drones from the Astral folder. Let's put this on close mic. There's a piano in there, a felt piano. That just sounds, to me, is such an amazing full sound. It sounds like there's some interference in there. Let's do the mix mic and the stretch. And let's cut down just a little bit. And let's add a little bit more reverb to it too. Just really get creative with it. pretty sounding. And then lastly, we have the Ethereal Folders Aurora Borealis texture. Let's hear what this is on the mix mode. There's a choir in there. Super, super pretty. Let's put that plate reverb on. Make it a little bit more intimate with the close mic. You can really hear the individual voices now. And listen to it die off. So pretty, so pretty. Moving on, we have the LCO Evo Grid, which is really like what the bread and butter of this instrument library is all about. And this grid here has all of our folders color coordinated, as you can see here. Orange, blue, red, and green. And we can randomize all these pegs. If you want to click a peg, you can click a peg. And let's just see what it sounds like. And this is basically, you're creating your own unique individual textures that no one else has access to but yourself, because it's coming out of your own mind. Listen to that evolve. Up here, if you want to take some of the guesswork out, you can randomize amongst the folders, the visible inside of a column, or if you want to randomize all of it, just go crazy and hit that all button, and let's see what happens. That's really nice. Let's take this mix off. Let's make it, again, more intimate with the close mic. It's right up on you. Let's turn this variation all the way down, see what that sounds like. Oh, look at that. There's a female voice in there. Super pretty, super pretty. Let's do that again, see what happens. And then let's put it back up to the mix mic and put the variation back up. Let's do it one more time. All right, now let's see what happens. Same chord progression as what we've been playing. Super pretty. All right, and that's the grid. So, all of this being said, I think it goes without saying I really like this library. It's one of my favorite additions to my collection. While you're not going to be using this as you would their Albion line, you can actually make some just amazing textures and pads to beef up your composition and add colors to it that you wouldn't otherwise have access to. And really, if we're being honest here, there's a ton of melodic potential here to where if you wanted to sit down and try to compose with this library as you would an Albion line, I honestly think you could probably make some extremely unique and creative sounds and melodies with just this library alone before bringing in the orchestra. So at the $299 price point, I think this is fantastically marketed for what it offers. You're getting real Spitfire innovation here, and that's something that I firmly believe to be an industry standard now. At the discounted price point that I paid, $179.40 USD, this is a no-brainer. 100% add this to your library. Don't miss this collection. Please do not miss this collection. So, now that we've cracked it open and taken a super brief glimpse at what it has to offer, how does this sound in cue? When we take it and we add it to a score or a cue or original song, that's where it matters. What does this sound like? So I was dealing with a small fit of writer's block leading into my purchasing of this library and felt like adapting or reimagining one of my favorite scores to kind of sort of work on my ear as well as my arranging skills, and it turns out the LCO Textures library fits in wonderfully with Kara's theme from the video game Detroit Become Human, as composed by the uber-talented Philip Shepard. Now, I've also used the British Drama Toolkit, Albion 5, and the new Native Instruments Noire piano. If you like what you saw here, please leave a like and a comment. If you want to continue following me as I delve into new content like what you're watching right now, I would greatly appreciate subscribe and dinging that bell for notifications. Your support means so much to me. This is my dream. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the queue. Take care of yourselves and stay safe out there.